Attention Sleepless Knights. Thank you for consuming this OSI 74 product broadcast, live from the Black Knight satellite. For optimum performance and safety, your host, Mr. Lobo, asks that you please listen to these instructions carefully. When in a hospital or other healthcare facility, observe the restrictions on the use of electronic devices. Switch off before boarding an aircraft to prevent interference with communications systems. Do not operate this device in the presence of flammable gases or fumes, chemical plants, or where blasting operations are in progress. Always listen hands-free while driving a vehicle. Failure to observe these instructions may lead to immediate termination. It's time now for the show to begin. Thank you. Have a very pleasant evening.
You're not dreaming. You're washing and drying.
And 1 credit equals 4 minutes.
That's right. And 10 cents get you into the restroom.
This sucks because the change machine only gives you quarters.
Yeah. This is the Sleepless Knights of Insomnia, and we are here at the laundromat. We usually like to go to the laundromat really late, in the middle of the night, so that we don't have to contend with a lot of other people.
Did you put soap in that machine?
Yes.
No.
I did put soap in that machine. Dixie, come over here for a second.
I gotta turn the thing on.
Say hello to the folks out in Podland.
Hello, folks.
Closer to the mic.
Out in
Closer to the-
I want you to
closer
work,
to the
I
mic.
want you to work
Closer.
harder. I want you to work harder.
She does exist.
Yeah.
You want me to work harder?
No, it takes Paul a long time to make my voice louder when he's putting a podcast
I
together.
see. So you're trying to make it more irritating in the edit.
Yes.
I like how Paul just throws a huge box
There.
over
Right, I
here.
gotta-
Well, I'm trying to help you get the mic up closer to your mush.
Put it-
Oh,
put it
am
on top of that.
I not
No,
close
I get
enough?
you, but
I see.
it's kind of a pain in the
I see.
back.
So this is going to be it. We like to make this a challenge to edit for Paul all the time by either talking low, talking away from the microphone, all of those things.
Talking too
we are
close to the
here
microphone.
at Laundroland.
Laundroland?
Laundroland.
Now, I like how the machine out there, it speaks only in Spanish. How many Spanish Amish do we have out here?
It's actually, I think it's Spanish.
Isn't it Spanish?
Could be Spamish.
Spamish?
I think it's Spamish, which is the Spanish Amish contingency here.
What if you're Spanenmanite? Spanenanite.
Wow, I think that kills Amish Superman. We are here at the laundromat doing our laundry.
Now, how'd you get this up into the satellite?
Well,
This must have been a fortune.
you know, they had a transmitter up on top of the car wash that's next door. There's a lot of automated washing in Pennsylvania. People who like to make money off of how filthy everyone is here. So there's a lot of, you will find a lot of coin-operated car washes, coin-operated clothes washers, but they don't want to, they want your money, but they don't want to talk to you.
Right.
Yeah. And
Right.
and clean yourself, for
Right.
God's sakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get those dimes if you want to take a poop.
So,
It's okay. I use the trash can.
yeah, yeah, you don't wait for a bathroom. You just drop it on the
People
floor.
are all honking at me like, hey.
So,
Why
you
not?
know,
I had my dinner over top of
this
the
is
trash can
how
a minute ago.
important the podcast is to us. We want to make sure that we record a podcast for you.
In the most strangest places possible.
Not intentionally. It's just that at all costs. And our clothes are in the washer and the dryer right now. Paul
Yes.
is staying with us for a few days. We're hoping to knock out a couple more episodes.
Mr.
of
Lobo is
Cinema
learning what it's
Insomnia.
like to be a pantsless producer.
Yes, I am pantsless right now, so I can't give Paul too much stuff. I can't
You've
give him
given
too
me
much
a little
sass.
bit too much stuff already.
Sorry, I'll cross my legs.
Thank you.
So we're both here pantsless in the coin-operated laundromat, Launderland. You know, I took a photograph of the laundromat sign outside, and it says Launderland, but if you crop it just right, it says Underland, like in the Venture Brothers. So that's a Baron von Underbite comes from that. So if you want to be extra nerdy, find a Launderland in your town and crop the picture so it looks like it says Underland.
And comment, said it in the comments below, even though you can't.
And put it in the comments below.
Pictures in the comments, but
So
we'll take your We'll take your word on that.
So there's a light snow outside, or it could be soap. There could be just soap flakes erupting out of the top of this building and dropping down.
I hope it's soap and not like something bad for me, because I was already out there doing snow angels and snorting it.
And we are in this weird side room next to the dryers, and I feel like we're in like a little oven. Like I feel like
wave to the camera, because I'm sure they really like that.
Yeah, they're recording us, I'm sure. Security will be ushering us out. So if this podcast is a little short, you'll know why. So we are here in the laundromat, and again, the idea is that the podcast is so important to us that we don't want to skip a podcast. We want to make sure you get your podcast, and sometimes we just have to record it wherever we're at, so that
as long as it's not in the damn car, I think I'm all right.
Paul was. I almost suggested doing it in the car, and Paul.
I'm going to throw myself out of the car, and Lobo's like, "But you're driving."
Yeah, he was going. Paul went ballistic. He doesn't want to record him in the car. I kind of like doing it in the car.
That should be our 1-year anniversary. Is do it in the car.
Just record it in the car. Yeah. Bong, bong, bong. What are you kids doing in there? So this is the podcast. We're here doing our laundry, and that is no joke. We are really in the laundromat, folks. Or the what do they call laundrette? Is that what they call them?
We're getting the deep
Cliff,
down.
in the UK, can you tell us? Do they call them laundromats out there? Or they call them laundrettes? What do they call them?
We're getting
they even have
the
them?
deep down dirt in this episode.
Yeah. Oh man.
This episode gets your whites whiter.
Yes.
And your brights brighter.
Yes. Let's make America.
This copyright strike claim brought to you by.
Yes. So we're here. We're having fun. We've got Eric Miller coming on Sunday, who is the producer of Midnight Frights, and
Apparently listens to the show.
And he does. He and Will from Midnight Frights.
What's wrong with you?
Listen to the show a lot. They like our banter, and they keep asking us, when is the show going to be about something?
It's
And
about time.
I feel like it's about something.
Everything's about something.
Yeah,
Seinfeld was a show about nothing, but it still was about something.
I think our show is a little bit about everything. It's kind of like free form. There's free form radio. This is a free form podcast for now.
And a little bit later, we'll tell you about how to properly wash your thong.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And how to fold
the
your-
left thong and the right thong.
Yeah. This is
flip
the left
flops.
thong. This is the right thong.
Yes. Maybe there's machines here. They might teach us Spanish or Spanish.
Spanish. Spamenonite.
And but we are having fun, and that is important, Paul, don't you think?
Oh wait, what? Sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
So what's this episode about?
This episode is about. Maybe we could talk a little bit about having to balance real life and creative work.
Sure.
That's something that we are doing right now.
Right.
So
Something we seem to do a lot.
Yeah, and it's difficult to handle that balance, because a lot of times you want to just give up. It's always just, I think we've said this on the podcast before, it's always just your dream job or working at McDonald's, right? It's always like, well, if I can't make this work, I'm just going to go get a job at McDonald's. It's like, there's nothing in between.
Nope.
You get your dream job, or you work at McDonald's, or you rob a bank, right? Or you buy a lottery ticket.
No, that's if you want to make money.
That's if you want to make money.
You either have to rob a bank or you have to buy a lottery ticket.
Buy a lottery ticket.
There's nothing in between if you want money.
Yeah, absolutely. You have no choices in life but those two things.
This is what life is like now.
But, I think that we're here.
I think wasn't that the whole plot line of Logan's Run?
What, to buy a lottery ticket?
Or win the lottery?
Or win the lottery?
I might be a little bit off on that. I'm not sure.
It's
been a while since I've seen Logan's Run.
That's kind of like where you're at, where you feel like there's a jewel in your hand that's going to make you explode if you hit a certain age without having a reasonable amount of success in your chosen field. Yes?
Yeah. Not too far off. Missing the gem, I guess.
Yeah, I could sell the gem if I had a gem in the palm of my hand.
The gem in the holograms.
Oh, yes. Truly outrageous. Truly outrageous. But we're going to take a break. Thank you for joining us here. Maybe this would be a good time for you to do some of your laundry too, and we can all just do our laundry together. Wouldn't that be fun?
How about after we go to break, in order to start the next segment, they have to put a quarter in the machine.
I like it. The first coin-operated podcast.
Coin-operated.
So please deposit your coins, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
It's Saturday night, party night, and the only person here without a date is you. But imagine this. You touch a switch, turn a dial, and the perfect lover steps into your arms.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
Welcome to the 23rd century. The perfect world of total pleasure. MGM presents the Saul David production of Logan's Run.
Run, Logan.
Just imagine the fulfillment of every fantasy.
Run, Logan.
The satisfaction of every vanity.
Run, Logan!
The absolute attainment of every wish.
Run! There's just one catch.
Logan's Run. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Released by United Artists. Logan's Run.
It's the perfect world of total pleasure.
There's just one catch.
Alcance la meta de puntos y reciba un bono en su tarjeta.
You're still listening to the Sleepless Pod Nightcast. I don't know why.
Presented to you in Washavision.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Surroundo sound, Washo sound.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm going to throw a mic in
recorded in Laundrolux. We are genuinely here doing our not Tide Pods,
not
but
Tide
Tides.
Pods. Yeah, they're illegal now.
They're completely illegal.
Yes.
You just have one embedded in the palm of your hand.
Yes, and then it tells you when your wash is
When
due.
you're 30 years old, you have to eat it.
Lick it.
Yeah, they have to lick it. Yeah. It's not easy to balance a real life. Real life is fighting you at every step of the way, especially if you are trying to do something that is above the norm, or below the norm, right? Why is it that always, in the things that I'm into, I mean, you're not that the things that you're into are mainstream, Paul. But
I see how it is.
No, I'm not saying it like that. Right. But I'm saying it's always like a subculture or a counterculture. It's a B movie. It's a cult thing. It's always like these. It's underground production, underground movies.
You're a YouTuber,
right? Why is it always assumed that we're below everybody else? Why can't if there's a subculture, can't there be a superculture? Maybe what we're doing is slightly above. Maybe we're not under the radar. Maybe we're over the radar. Do they ever consider that?
What if we're through the radar?
Through the radar. I don't even know what that means. It's like through the looking glass?
I guess.
Okay.
Over, under, and through.
I guess that's true. Over, under, and through. Just word association. We're just going to do this whole thing, stream of consciousness.
Isn't it? You said that there's no format. There's usually a format. You have a mindset. You're going to say your thing, and then I just derail it every damn time.
I guess that's
kind of the whole format, isn't it?
Yeah, I try to say something intelligent,
and I say something really stupid,
and Paul destroys it. That's the format.
I bring the IQ level down to this podcast and all its listeners.
No, but I mean, you know what it's like to be marginalized.
Yes.
Obviously, obviously as a YouTuber, and even like the kind of because you like comic books and comic book movies, and I think people do try to cut those movies down too and call them not legitimate or less legitimate as a movie because it's a comic book movie, like it doesn't count as a movie because it's a comic book movie.
Correct.
Yeah. And
you can't like it because it's a movie.
You can't like it. Yes, that's another thing too. Is that I know that this is a common theme of the podcast, but people. And we're critical thinkers, and it's okay to have opinions, and not everything is perfect, and it's certainly good to have a critical eye and to know what you like and what you don't like. But it does seem that it's really, I think, a national pastime now to just say everything sucks, and maybe that's an excuse to not try and do anything yourself.
I think it's like I said in the car, it's like a history of everything sucks.
Yeah.
I got my YouTube, this is an anniversary. 4 years today, you said this thing or whatever. And it was like something that was about, I was excited about a movie that was coming out. And this was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember like our first podcast here, we were complaining about how that movie that shall not be named.
Yeah.
The other movie that shall not be named.
Yes.
and how we can't like it because the internet says we can't like it. But I was looking back at like 4 years ago, and it's like everybody was trash talking that movie, and I wasn't allowed to like that movie, and how dare I put out that I was excited about that movie and everything else, and it's.
Now, do you think that maybe
Constant.
we're a little too sensitive? Maybe it's not as much about not being allowed to like it, but they just want to fight about it. They just want to talk about it.
I guess.
Because like I heard this really weird thing, because this is the thing that I was talking to Paul about before on our drive up here, is that when did nerds become like sports fans, where they're just like...
Ooh, I think I found some gum under the table. Hold on.
No, we have to share that. That's our lunch later. When did nerds become like sports fans, where they just bitch about everything all the time, and everything except even their favorite team they're bitching about,
right?
But everything else sucks because it's not their favorite team, but also their favorite team also sucks,
right? I'm excited about this thing that I've read all this time, and it went in a direction that I absolutely hate, but there was a time that I liked it, and now that they're making a movie about it, too bad it's going to suck, but I'm excited that they're making it of that character. Did that sum that up really well, or was that a little bit too long?
I guess that sums that up. Sums an aspect of that.
I think that nerds became like jocks is when they started making the superhero genre movie.
They started catering to the nerd audience, perhaps.
And now it was like, well, this isn't like the book, so this sucks.
Yeah.
There's no free thought. You have to regurgitate exactly what's in that thing.
Well, and we've talked about this.
Watchmen, which was deemed an unfilmable movie. If it's not exactly word for word like that book, forget that.
Well, see, and I like The Watchmen, and I think that what's interesting about that is that I didn't like the book. And I thought the movie fixed a lot of the things that I didn't like about the book, The Watchmen. But I remember it was heresy to say that you didn't like Watchmen, because it was just this, indisputable classic. And the movie actually made me go back and read the book, and I actually appreciate the book now too.
Yeah, I read the book. I didn't read. I missed out on the whole thing.
Yeah.
But when the movie came out, they re-released the book, so I read the book right before the movie.
But movies and books are not exchangeable commodities. If somebody
It's
says,
two different
"Hey,
forms of
let's
art.
go out and go watch a movie," oh, I'd rather read the book, and then you go sit by yourself while everybody else goes out and watches the movie. I mean, those are two. They're not exchangeable commodities. They're two very, very different things that are not.
We've got an audience.
Not exchangeable. Yes, they were trying to put some spare carts in here, and then they realized we were actually recording a show. It's okay. You can put your spare cart in here, ma'am. I don't mind. Just don't make so much noise doing
Holy
it, please.
cow.
All right.
Speaking of books,
Yes.
during our time off in between recording the last podcast and this podcast, I actually read a book. It's been
Paul, you read a book?
It was a long time since I've actually read a book.
One of those rectangle things with words?
Had not digital, had paper, had letters all jumbled into sentences.
Wow, and you decoded that with your
decoded
eyeballs?
that,
and put it in your head somehow.
Yep,
and
all 600 pages. I was surprised 600 pages fit into my mind.
No pictures?
No pictures. Well, there's a picture on the cover.
Oh, okay.
In the back of the
cover and the back cover.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
And you read it.
And I read it. I comprehended it. It was good.
Wow.
I liked it.
Wow.
I liked it. I can't wait till the movie comes out.
I haven't read a book in a while. So it was a book of a movie coming out.
It was Ready Player One.
Ready Player One.
And I liked the trailer to the book, so I decided to read the book and then realized that the trailer was for a movie.
Oh, wait. The trailer from the book was for the movie?
Yeah. The trailer that I went and saw that movie that we're not allowed to talk about, and they played a trailer for the book, and I read the book, and I'm like, they need to make a movie out of this, and here they're going to make a movie out of it.
Wow.
I might be a little bit wrong on that, but
okay, all right. So
it's the Steven Spielberg movie that's coming out.
Steven Spielberg movie's come out. So you decided that you would read the book before the movie comes out.
I did like the trailer. I like what they had in the trailer. They're obviously catering to the 80s kid and everything else, and I wanted to consume the book knowing that there's more information in the book than the movie. I have a feeling I'm going to like the movie.
Yeah.
But I had a feeling I might like the book more so because there was going to be more information than what they were going to actually put in the movie.
Well, it's interesting.
We'll see. It's interesting to see how far they'll get with that.
It does take on a certain aspect of nostalgia combined with futurism. We keep going forward into the future, and the technological advances are amazing. But I think that we're so critical of the present. We're talking about this thing. Oh, that sucks. This sucks. When you're young, when you're 8, 9, 10 years old, you're so open to things, and you find those things that really define your sensibility and what you really like. So at a certain point, you draw this line in the sand that everything new sucks, everything old's good. And I think this movie kind of looks at our remix culture, where it's like at a certain point, we're just going to combine everything into one universe.
It's going to be one thing.
And it's what? It's got the Back to the Future car, right?
It's pretty much everything 80s culture. I not to spoil it too much. I mean, if you watch the trailer or whatever, it's basically about a virtual reality game where the main programmer, he's passed on, and he's left three keys hidden in the game that lead to an Easter egg. And if you find the Easter egg, you earn his fortune, and you earn his the game. Well, first of all, most anime fans may recognize that as Sword Art Online. So there's a little bit of that element. But it's in reading the book, what happened is the main programmer is a 70s and 80s kid. So even though this takes place 20 years into the future in like 2040, there's a resurgence of 80s culture because of this guy. So the book was cover to cover referencing all the 80s culture. And then the gaming itself was like, well, it recognizes that there's these franchises. So there's a Star Wars there's a Star Wars in this gaming universe. There's a Star Trek in this gaming universe. And there's a Firefly in this gaming universe, and it all can interact and intermesh and everything else.
So they all have their own, like Disneyland, where there's a Star Wars land and a Star Trek land, and if you're playing in this virtual world, you could play as Star Wars or as Star Trek. But there's neutral zones where all these franchises are all bleeding into each other.
Pretty much, yes.
Interesting.
Pretty much.
That sounds interesting.
And I was thinking about you a lot because like the guy's personal assistant was Max Headroom, knowing that you're a huge fan of it. And I'm like, I really hope that Max Headroom makes it into the movie. That would be a fun little aspect, especially with Matt Frewer.
Matt Frewer.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully he makes it back.
Max Headroom was very inspirational to me. Is one of the reasons why I wanted to work in TV was because of.
There's
Max
your
Headroom.
mistake.
Yeah. And we are 20 minutes into the future now. This is a lawless land of media that we're living in. I mean, that's stuff that you've been dealing with Amazon and YouTube and all the stuff we've been dealing with Roku. And, you've got Disney and owning more than 40% of all of the media, pretty much, or American culture.
If that gets passed, too. I guess we got 18 months before that gets passed
with Fox.
With
right?
Fox, but then I guess have you been reading where Sony wants to sell their movie and television and looking to Disney to buy up at least Spider-Man franchise, and now Warner Brothers wants to get rid of their movie and comic books.
Oh wow.
And it's like, there's no way.
Oh, wow.
We're going to end up with
Well, and it makes it difficult because, again, it's like, you're trying to do something creative and you're having to compete with gangsters with billions of dollars for everyone's attention. But on that happy note, let's take a little quick break. I'm going to go check on my laundry and make sure.
I'm going to get some dimes, and I guess our listeners should get some quarters ready to listen to the next segment.
Yes, get your quarter ready get your coins ready to insert for our next segment. And I'm going to see how moist my
some listeners that are
I'm going to see how moist my pants are, and we'll be right back.
Gross.
Hey yo. The man with the goodies is here. I got stuff you might want. Stuff that makes you feel real good. I got t-shirts. I got buttons. So you know what I can do for you? Every time you buy something, I'll send you a fan club membership card. So if you buy a patch, I'll send you a fan club membership card. If you buy an autographed picture with your name on it, when I've got your name, I'll send you a fan club membership card. And you can give that one to a friend. Remember, any friend of a Midnighter has got one friend.
Go to the OSI 74 shop to buy your Midnight Frights merchandise.
The fine family-run space for oddities, collectibles, retro kitsch, antiques.
Don't you mean eclectic crap?
We like to say one-of-a-kind items, Paul. Area 707. That's Area 707. Located inside Cackleberry Antique Mall in Paradise, Pennsylvania. Please visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Area707PA. That's facebook.com/area707PA. Come see us. There's Cinema Insomnia merchandise there too, and
I collect crap.
That's right, at Area 707.
Vea al dependiente para los detalles.
Okay, our coins are in the machine, and
I really want to record this machine out here that's speaking Spanish, because I swear at the end of the one sentence it sounds like Kalima, Kalima.
I was thinking the same thing, like Indiana
what?
Jones and the Temple of Doom. Malaram reaches into the guy's chest, right?
Yeah.
Is that what he says?
Yeah.
Says Kalima?
I think that's the, I went up to the help desk and that's what they tried to do. And I'm like, no, get away, stop it, no.
Pull your heart
Sorry,
out of
I'll
your
figure this
chest.
out myself.
I think, now someone better not steal my idea, because
Too late.
the internet is so full of honor, but I
hate
feel
it
like-
already.
I feel like that there needs to be a compilation of all the heart pulls from all the movies. That's such a common thing. I've been in at least two, possibly three movies in which someone's heart has been pulled out. How easy is that really to do? I mean, your heart is like a big, thick muscle. It's all connected with all of your whole circulatory system. You got to get through the ribs somehow without getting a piece of ribs in your hand, right?
And shredding the heart on the way out on the ribs.
Yeah, and then pulling it all out together, and usually it's still beating somehow too, right?
Right.
It seems like that is a trope that has been in movies for a long time. Probably what? Who do you think was the first?
I don't know. Get on that internet.
I don't know. Who was
Comment
the first
below.
to do the heart pull? Yeah, comment below. But let me tell you about my heart's beating a little fast. We had a little bit of a crisis where we didn't know where our phone was. Dixie thought maybe she had put it in the laundry somehow. So we were panicking.
Like, do you want me to call it?
Yeah, how do you do a ring sound that's also gurgly when it's already gurgly because it's a ring? So we're looking out in the car. We're looking everywhere. We had a pile of laundry. Well, a pile is really understating it. I mean, we have mountains of laundry.
You had a back seat of laundry.
Plus the whole back
half of a car.
The whole hatchback.
We had to take two cars to get here.
We had to take two cars because we had so much laundry. And that is not a joke. And again, it's that part of being a creative person where you're trying to balance real life and so things like cleaning yourself and cleaning your laundry, personal hygiene.
Yeah, getting rid of those sideburns that I had.
Oh yeah, Paul is all trimmed up.
I got a haircut because it's like you were saying, the guy that I go to get my hair done because I get it all stylized. And
yes,
stuff
of
with
course.
It. He's only there from like Wednesday on. So usually I'm editing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm I'm getting the push trying to get stuff done. And here it's like Friday, and it's like, oh, I missed that. I got to wait another week. But it was getting to the point that the sideburns were so thick that I thought people were they would catch my peripheral, and I think people were like following me. I was just like, what? Who's there? Who's there?
Yeah, Paul was like Peppy the Prawn or something, where he had like long wisps of hair coming off of his face.
It got to the point that the hat wasn't even doing it anymore.
No.
It was like I was just wearing a hat to just control the hair, and the hat wasn't even doing it anymore.
And the hair was trying to throw the hat off of his head. There was a couple of times I thought someone would mistake Paul for a Yeti and shoot us on location.
Wouldn't be the first time. You see this tag I have right here on my ear?
I mean,
I've already been put to sleep and tagged. Somebody is tracking me somewhere.
They're monitoring you. Monitoring you. Paul. Of course, we already talked about how hairy Paul is. He's got this sort of like the Robin Williams. Sean Connery / Robin Williams amount of body hair.
You're trying to see if I do a Sean Connery.
Oh, I'm the sheeny.
I'm the sheeny. Yeah, because it was like, oh, I missed this. Oh, now this con's out. I think I got my haircut like right before Camp Lobo. And then I just was so busy afterwards because like Camp Lobo was 4 weeks, and I was so busy afterwards, and it's just like, oh, I got a con to go to, and I missed that.
You think you got problems? I had to do a podcast with a Yeti with no pants for weeks on end.
Still do.
So Dixie did. So Dixie thought she lost the phone, and so
did you check my beard?
Sheer stark panic. Yeah, who's feeding you Skittles? With sheer stark panic. the where the phone was, and did it get thrown in with all the mountains and mountains and mountains of laundry?
And it's a new phone too on top of that.
And it's a brand new phone. Yeah, we just got it. We did a favor for an IT friend of ours who is kind of hep with all the electronics and electrics, as we like to say. And he hooked us up. I don't know where he got this phone. I feel like he got it from some sassy wife of a jewelry merchant or something, because it looks like this champagne gold Galaxy phone.
At least it's not bedazzled or bejeweled.
Yeah, I feel like it should be bedazzled. It's definitely. Yeah.
Is that a future project? Are we bedazzling the
bedazzling the phone? Yes. Maybe I could just put 100% bitch in jewels on the.
Stay tuned for Mr. Lobo does bedazzling his phone
on the front of it. So
says Lobo.
Yeah.
Like all the diamonds are yellow except for the Lobo, which is in white. Mm-hmm. So when you look at the phone, it says. Let me explain it some more.
Could you explain it? Yeah.
No, I'm done.
All right.
What's this episode about again?
It's
washing your pants.
It's about
wash your pants, people.
Come on,
quit being lazy.
Don't be gross. Wash your damn pants.
Be creative. Wash your ass. Bless you, Dixie.
There is a balance between keeping clean and keeping creative, and it's a difficult balance. It's tentative. We have so many creative friends that when you go to their house, you feel like you're at an episode of Hoarders. And I think that some of it's tragic, and some of it's like, oh God, we should just have a big party and all come over here and help you clean your house. And I'm not like.
And then you piss them off. What do you mean?
And then I'm thinking, well, who's going to have the big party to come over to my house and clean up my hoarding situation? I go and I look at all the props, all the artwork, all the things I've collected, all the weird kitsch, Paul sleeping over in the corner,
the eclectic crap,
all the eclectic crap, and I think to myself, what? Am I insane? Am I mentally ill? Do I need to go see a doctor? You know, I think I've ruined myself for real life. So that's my sad realization that I had, epiphany that I had, that I might just be mentally ill.
I think in order to do what we do, you have to be a little bit
crazy, right? Full nose bozo, right? What's the thing that Robin Williams would always say? You have to be a little crazy, you know. You got to be a little crazy. And
be a little bit of something.
We are a little crazy because you have to keep doing it. You have to be dumb enough to keep doing it.
And you don't really think the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
Noticeably.
Yeah. Well, you have to be able to think differently than everybody else. What's wrong with that shirt? X-Files shirt? Oh my God! It's like half of Paul's beard is somehow on.
Hey, there's
that
where
shirt.
that went.
I'm just gonna do it by itself.
I'm shedding. Oh, look, she gets to load up the thing right here. So we get firsthand access to listening to a dryer. I wonder how hot this room's going to get.
Yeah, so Dixie's in here with us now, drying this one X-Files shirt by itself.
Nice. Now we got some nice new ambience to this.
But
this
room. I realized
continuity
that with what we do and who we are, the only success is who dies in the room with the most X-Files collectibles.
Oh, I was going to say about have heat. Running all these dryers.
Yes.
We should run them all. Was there just...
So
there's 8 dryers. We should run all 8 dryers during the next episode.
Oh, yeah. It would be a rumble round. What a feat of engineering, you know? I mean, because these dryers, especially the washers, they look like they want to pull themselves right out of the wall. And somehow they don't. I mean, you think that like the foundation of this building would be cracking apart with all of the violent shaking that is going on.
Well, I like that Dixie just put that shirt into a dryer that, according to that sign, can't handle 50 pounds worth of clothing.
Yes.
And you're drying one shirt in there.
Yes.
That's one heavy shirt.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, heavy duty. So,
all I gotta say is if you get all that beard hair off, I want it back.
Okay.
So
we did find the phone. Dylan had it. Dylan is my son, and Dylan's living with us now, and that's been exciting. That has fixed a big hole in Mr. Lobo's heart. I get to be dad. I got deprived of good dad time, so now I get to get it back. So I'm enjoying it a lot.
Good, because I was tired of you changing my diapers all the time.
Paul's a little jealous now that we have a kid in the house.
Yeah. It's like, hey, Lobo, it's dumper diaper time.
Dumper diaper time. Diaper dump. Was it dumper?
Dumper diaper time.
Dumper diaper time instead of diaper dump time. If you watch our this is Mr. Lobo Does. That's a reference to Mr. Lobo Does. Some of the films, videos, files. I don't know, whatever we're doing. Are they still called videos? Is it still okay to call them videos?
I guess
they're not really shot on video.
YouTube crap.
Movies.
Movies?
No. Mini movie?
Not really movie.
Shorts.
Shorts? I think because the whole collection's called Mr. Lobo Does Shorts.
Shorts. A series of shorts for YouTube, Mr. Lobo Does. And one of the we've done, how many times have we gone with the well with the internet acronyms?
One too many.
3?
We're at 3, and I think we recorded 5.
Okay.
Not to peek behind the curtain, spoilers and all, but...
Well, this whole thing is about being behind the curtain. You guys are behind the curtain with us. You get to see...
You're behind the curtain, and the curtain is in dryer number 4!
Yeah, that's right. The curtain's not... We're waiting for it to be clean.
So hopefully they're not behind it too long. Got to hold your breath.
Yeah.
Scuba dive.
This is not how my show typically is. This is not how Cinema Insomnia is. This is not how Paul and I usually spend a lot of time producing. This show's not about producing. When Eric was asking, what's this podcast about? This is what we're doing when we're not doing what we do.
Right.
So
half the time we spend 4 hours or so talking, and then at the end of that 4 hours, it's like, we should have really just turned the mics on.
Yeah.
And then we turn the mics on, we sort of semi-assemble what we've talked about, but it generally goes on its own tangent. A few things end up leaking back in.
Yeah, definitely. It does. You change the experiment by measuring it, and you certainly change the podcast by recording it.
It's not completely scripted. I remember, the second and third episode, we had scripts, we had an outline and stuff like that.
But we never follow the outline.
Because there was one time, because it was the second episode where it's like, you're reading from the third script. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You're on the wrong thing. So, I think we even did that on air.
Yeah, I think we did. And that's fine, and that's what we're all about.
That's what it's about.
It's just two dudes being guys, which I usually hate. So we hope you enjoy it. I think
4 minutes already. Wow, that was a quick
4 minutes are up, so we will be gone. We're going to go check on this shirt, and we'll be back with more Sleepless Nights of Insomnia.
I hope that's the dryer, not my pacemaker.
The attack on the killer tomatoes. It's a riot. It's a scream. It's a disaster. It's
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
The most terrifying film since Gidget Goes to College.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
The funniest, most hilarious movie since Gone with the Wind.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
It's out to devour you.
In Newark, New Jersey, a man was eaten by a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich.
See the attack of the killer tomatoes.
Good.
Rated PG. Your kids will eat it up.
Larimas?
Shakti de.
All right, Dixie, so I think that's going to need a little more time. It's still damp.
Yeah. And the shirt, too.
She's just going out in a huff. They're also
I still
accusing
expect
us
that beard
of
hair back.
artistic theft, and that's not fair, okay? First of all, art is all about theft. Art is war, It's like if you see that, it's a land acquisition, right? You go for it. If you get it's that right moment, you just go for it.
It's just like they say, art left a fart and blew the whole damn thing apart.
Who says that?
They apparently.
They do. Well, they're disgusting. The Calamari thing from
Mon Calamari.
Mount Calamari. Kali Ma, yeah.
You want to fight me, buddy?
Kali. I said Kali Ma. I guess I said Kali Mar. But the thing from
Sensor police just
Indiana
came
Jones and the Temple of Doom. Which is
Speaking of movies
which
that
was
everybody-
Paul's observation, but Dixie made the same observation too. So she thought that I was stealing her idea.
She thought you were ripping her off when I was the one that brought it up, because I was standing here watching the equipment all this time and listening to it 50
The other thing is
times.
that Dylan was saying our podcast is just two dudes, our version of two dudes being guys, which we're terrible at. I'll speak for myself. I'm terrible at it. I don't like being casual. I don't like being real. I don't like chilling. I don't like hanging. I'm project oriented. I like to do things. So this is like a living hell to just talk
about random shit.
Not in character. I feel like I'm just throwing my whole career away.
I want to backpedal a little bit. You know, it's like one of my favorite movies was always Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. It's probably because it's one of the first movies that I remember seeing in the theaters.
And it's underrated.
And it's another one of those things that the world wants me to hate. This is a horrible movie. This sucks. This is the worst Indiana Jones ever made and stuff like that. And it's like, it's one of my favorites. I think I actually like it more than the other movies.
I like it better than Last Crusade. I like it better than Crystal Skull by a country mile.
All right, now, come on.
What, you like Crystal Skull?
I don't.
I mean, it's okay. I don't. Again, that's another movie that people want you to hate. I don't think Crystal Skull's a bad movie. It's just not satisfying after waiting 25 years for another Indiana Jones movie. I actually thought it was fun that it was the Russians and that it was aliens. I don't think it has to be God and
Well, it's not
Nazis
aliens.
every time.
It wasn't aliens. It was interdimensional beings.
They're not from space.
They're not from space. They're
from
from another
space.
dimension.
No,
they're
not
from a space between
They're
spaces.
from the space between spaces. Thanks for that bullshit, Mr.
Right.
Spielberg. Yeah, I get it. They're from the space between spaces. That's not the point. The idea is that in 50s movies, the bad guys were always Martians or aliens or the Russians. So with Indiana Jones in the 50s, it made sense that he was contending with the Red Scare and also contending with the UFO scare. But Ancient Astronauts, to be honest, is a little more 70s than 50s. So you're kind of, I guess, mixing it up all over the place, but which is fine. My problem with these movies, I think Paul's a slightly different perspective. But I think that
5 years difference, wasn't that what we figured?
We should have had 20 Indiana Jones movies, and they can be shitty. I just want to see him have a million adventures. I want to see him go to Atlantis. I want to see him find the Limburg baby. I want to see him.
Indiana Jones and the Adventures of the Impacted Gallbladder.
Sure, absolutely. I always want to do a
quick 4 minutes. It's 4 minutes. 4 minutes and 7 seconds.
Quick. Wow, it's amazing. My friend Jason
Bourne?
No, Jason Patrick. He's in a lot of the Cinema Insomnia episodes. He was Phantom of Crankcore. But we always talked about doing Indiana Jones parody where he's just stealing a crucifix out of an active church where a wedding is going on. So like Indiana Jones comes crashing through the stained glass.
Kills the priest.
Yeah, kills the priest, exactly. It belongs in a museum. And he's like pulling this golden crucifix off the wall, and a grave robber, we romanticizing this person with absolutely no scruples whatsoever. But anyway, Indiana Jones, fun movies, and yes, we're not supposed to like the second one.
Not supposed to like the second one. Definitely not supposed to like the last one. But I think we all don't like the last one, so.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't hate it as much as everybody else did. I think that there was a sadness of, we waited too long, too little, too late. Even with Twin Peaks, I mean, I know you're not a Twin Peaks fan, but
not so much not a Twin Peaks fan. I just never watched it.
But they waited 25 years, and a lot of the people aren't alive anymore, and the ones that are on their twilight years. Shouldn't be. No. And it's not sad that they're old. It's just sad that we waited so long. Like with the movie that we're not supposed to talk about, the Star Wars movie that we're not supposed to talk about,
and Jurassic Park we're not allowed to talk about.
And Jurassic Park we're not supposed to talk about. This aspect of Luke Skywalker is that we never got the Luke Skywalker we were promised. We never got all these adventures with him as a Jedi. Just never on screen. We never got it. And so there's that missed potential where it's like, wow, this we don't have this potential in anymore. You know, we waited too long. There should have been 20 shitty movies with Luke versus, you know, everything, you know, Luke versus Alien versus Predator.
Speaking about movies that we're no longer allowed to talk about.
Yes.
We've decided that every episode that ends in a 1 should be a nada episode.
Yeah,
kind of. So,
Paul,
the reason why
Paul's a big fan of imposing rules and inside jokes. But one of the things we thought might be a good idea is doing a nada
episode. Mm-hmm. Well, the reason why I insert that here is that I think it's plenty of time to people to insert their nada movie reference
suggestion
now,
too?
So that we can overview them, and by the time we get to the 21st episode, we'll do a nada.
We might do not Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
We could not talk about.
Or we'll throw everybody else and wait for the 22nd episode.
Mm-hmm.
Or just nada. It's just going to be a nada podcast at all, and we just don't fucking do it at all.
But I don't know how many people are like, oh goody, they did it exactly 10 apart from the first time they did it.
Whatever. Hey, we got a person to suggest it to begin with. We weren't even going to do it at all until we got somebody said, "Hey, how about doing a not a Jurassic Park episode?"
Well,
so and
it's good that people are listening. That's what's really bizarre.
I mean, we've talked about this last night too. Maybe we put this on the podcast where there's like references where people kind of hit you up on Messenger or whatever, and we're not aware of what the connection is. Am I saying that right?
Yes, right. To say it a little more plainly is that you guys are listening to the podcast, and like I said, sometimes it's, there's a distance between when we record some of these and when you hear them. And so out of the blue, somebody will say, Ted Cassidy did the voice of Big Mac in the McDonaldland commercials. And I'm like, why is this person telling me this?
Why do I
And then I'm realizing they're listening to the podcast. They're hearing they just heard me talk about the McDonaldland characters, and they're chiming in with their knowledge about the same subject.
And they get bonus points for knowing that, but unfortunately we don't remember their username. So whoever said that, congratulations.
Actually, Lee Finley, I believe, might be the guy.
Well, Lee, if you're the one that did it, congratulations. If you're not Lee Finley, change your name.
That's right. But and again, then I'm excited. I'm like, oh wow, this person's really listening and they're really active.
Well, it was kind of like my feeling too. Was like when out of all places, it was on the iTunes, which like people rarely leave messages on the iTunes board at all.
Yeah.
And when it was, oh, I like your not a Star Wars. Can we do a not a Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And it just happened to fall on 11 because I said before I was kicking myself where we should have done 007 should have been not a James Bond.
Right.
That particular episode. But it's one of those things where it's like, well, we're this far into it, and people are listening to our surprise sometimes.
Yes.
That
because I stopped listening to myself a long time ago.
I just throw it on the timeline, just export it, and we're done. I just wait for my copyright strike, and we move on. But it just proves that people are listening, and we want to include the fans and stuff. And so I just want to throw it out there that if we're considering this for the 21st episode, that throw out some suggestions.
Yeah, and we love hearing people's suggestions because again, we don't know what we're doing. And it's nice when people say, obviously, we want to hear Dixie more, or we want you to talk about more specific movies, or we love it when Miss Mittens is on the show, or we like it when,
even though she had a salty mouth that one episode.
Yeah, that's why we made her stay home. She doesn't like the laundromat anyway. It's just she's very I don't know, borderline racist, so we can't take her anywhere.
I was hoping to get
Cliff had racism just gets out of hand.
Cliff had an answer for one of our questions, but I can't get to it. So keep
What Cliff is definitely a good soul.
He's always the first responder. As soon as a new episode is on there, Cliff has a comment,
and we appreciate that.
So go out there and buy his comics in multiples.
Yes,
please.
That's right. Bizarre Dimensions, and Bizarre Dimensions #2. I want to premiere in a big way at Williamsport Comic-Con. So I will have Mr. Lobo is going to be in person at Williamsport Comic-Con. I will have copies of both issues of Bizarre Dimensions 1 and 2. I do want to get them up in my store. It's just unfortunate when you are both producer and performer and writer and dog washer. Sometimes you
pants washer,
clothes washer, X-Files t-shirt washer. You don't always serve your own project well, and you don't always serve the people who serve you so well or help you with your thing so well. I definitely have a lot. I'm way behind on my OSI 74 stuff. I'm way behind on Cinema Insomnia stuff, and I'm way behind on all my great collaborations with other people. But we're moving it all forward the best that we can, and we appreciate your patience. And we've been getting so much amazing support on Patreon. I'm mailing out 1 million magnets today when I go home. And again, this is the balance between, this is like the Force, right? The balance between real life and the creative stuff, and just trying to keep things moving forward, especially when you're not inherently an organized person. I mean, I am a mess. You know, Mr. Lobo's a hot mess, and I hope you guys aren't surprised when I tell you this.
Dixie's taking pictures.
Yeah, Dixie's got
Smile.
her champagne, her bedazzled champagne trophy.
Nobody's
wife
gonna believe that we're
from-
actually at the laundromat. Oh yeah. I don't know. We're at our time. I was hoping to get Cliff's answer here.
So I thought you were just like checking your Facebook.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
No, I was trying. He had an answer of what century the quizzing glasses were from.
Oh,
and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, he said that it was Tudor, the Tudor period.
Tudor period.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So there you go. Now you know. Now we can end this episode with you knowing when.
Is this the end?
This is the end,
Wow.
my friend.
Well, we did it, folks. Well, we did probably not the world's first podcast from a laundromat. Maybe not even the world's best podcast.
Maybe we'll start a trend.
From a laundromat. Yeah, another trend. But certainly another. Wow, I'm just looking right at this guy's crack right here as he's loading up his laundry.
Wow.
I'm never going to be able to unsee that.
Can I walk over there? And would you be insulted if I put a couple quarters in there?
Yeah. Oh wait, you do that, but please just pull them up afterwards.
Just put a quarter in and pull up the pants and then walk away.
Yeah.
Tune in next episode when Paul has a black eye.
Yeah. Nursing a broken arm at the hospital. Thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you so much for allowing us. We wouldn't have quarters to put in the machines,
or dimes to put in the bathrooms,
or dimes to put in the bathrooms if we didn't have our Patreon support. If we didn't have all the people who bought DVDs and T-shirts and stickers and buttons. And, I know that those things seem frivolous, but all those go toward your investment against a blow to the mighty evil empire. And, we're down here in the trenches with the dirty socks, and, we're fighting for you.
Paul's beard leavings.
So thank you. Thanks for joining us for the Sleepless Nights of Insomnia. This is Mr. Lobo and Paul Sanders of Bestow TV signing off. You have been listening to the Sleepless Nights podcast, or should we say, pODDcast.
pODDcast.
Emphasis on the odd. Our theme is by Mars Homeworld at Dead House Music. Our opening announcement is by Ophelia Necro. She does a radio show called Suicide Watch. And you could reach Mr. Lobo at cinemainsomnia.com, or find me on YouTube, YouTube/Mr. Lobo, MISTERLOBO. Mr. Lobo on Facebook, Facebook/MR.LOBO, or on Twitter, at Mr. Lobo, MISTERLOBO.
Or you can find myself, Paul Sanders, or better known as Bestow TV, at Bestow.tv. On YouTube /Bestow TV, on Twitter at Bestow Prod, PROD, and on Facebook, Bestow TV.
If you want to place an advertisement with this podcast, and gosh, why wouldn't you? We could be talking about you right now. Contact us, Mr. Lobo at cinemainsomnia.com. That's MRLOBO @CINEMAINSOMNIA.com. Or support us on Patreon. Patreon supporters get to hear this podcast before anyone else, and a lot of other great stuff, right, Paul?
Sure.
Doesn't get it better than that, right? So come join the fun at patreon.com/cinemainsomnia. That's patreon.com/cinemainsomnia. Please stay up with us next week for another Sleepless Nights podcast. Or should we say, pODDcast.
pODDcast.
The best thing about being an insomniac is never having to say goodnight.
Good night.